All right, all right. Hey, guys. Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's get into a collective message. This is going to be, of course, non zodiac specific, but we will call out zodiacs as we get going, as zodiacs present themselves. Really nice to see you guys today. I am delighted to see you and hang out with you guys. Let's see what we've got. Ace of Cups starts out in the reverse, and then we shift immediately over to a High Priestess with a Four of Swords following and a Page of Cups. Okay, so hi, Nora. Great to see you, sweetie. This says I almost feel like a High Priestess is picking up on someone else's like lack of self-love today. I don't think it's her. She's like the interpreter. She's the one picking up on the vibration, but I don't think it's her sensing or feeling like, oh, I'm the one who is not loving myself enough. I feel like she's the antenna picking up someone else's energy. We have somebody laying here, trying maybe very hard to get some kind of peace or calm or healing energy. But I don't know yet if she's picking up on perhaps this person in their knight's outfit is not feeling loved by her. And is picking that up. I'm not sure yet. We'll look a little closer because this is somebody who would want to make an apology, quite possibly, as they're laying here in silence, and she is getting that vibe. We definitely know she's picking up something because that third eye for her is really, really highlighted. Okay, speaking of, and I haven't used it yet, but I will on one of these videos. I got one of these tarot card necklaces where you spin and it tells you what your card is. We might try a little storytelling with that, but I'd have to like arrange the camera to focus on it so we can really see it. But I'm thinking we might do that for some fun. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Can I ask you guys, how's the audio? I had to do big resets this morning, and anytime that happens, I always am like, okay, is it smooth? Can you hear, or does it sound like I'm at the bottom of a can or something? I just so I can make it as pleasant as possible for you guys. I just wondered if it sounds okay on your end. Okay, Empress says there is a small echo. Okay. Audio's perfect, says Summer Morgan. Okay. I know sometimes it can be different depending on, where you're at also or what device you're listening on. But if it's an issue on my end, there's something I can still do to try to fix it a little bit. So, all right, you guys. Thank you guys so much. Wonderful. Okay, so mostly it sounds like you guys are hearing me all right without echo. We have the Star. It is sideways. We have the Five of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Wands upright. This definitely feels like she is picking up their longing. A High Priestess is picking up somebody else's emotions, but I think she's aware of it. Let me double check. Let's change decks and only talk to the High Priestess for a second. High Priestess, what do you say is going on right now? Nine of Pentacles, she's like, listen, I'm whole. I'm very abundant. I know that whatever's coming in toward me, it's not me because I'm actually in a really stable, space. Okay, terrific. So you are aware that you are picking up on someone else's combination of grief. Yeah, she says, yeah, my Six of Cups, there is a soulmate who is in a place of hunger today, which would fit together with everything that we've seen. Now, you notice I also had one card mixed into this deck that shouldn't have been in this deck, which is the Two of Pentacles, but it's in here, so we keep it. I'm going to say with the Two of Pentacles, she is both aware that it can't be my energy that I'm picking up on. It's got to be coming from a soulmate, but it could be coming from one of two different soulmates. Interesting. So she's in true High Priestess form. She's aware some energy coming at her isn't her own, but she's saying, but I can't pinpoint which person it might be. Okay. Why do you think it could be coming from one of two different people, High Priestess? Because I think that's interesting. We haven't seen that before. Nine of Swords, Two of Wands, Five of Cups in the reverse. It could be because she's saying one person I would swear would not be thinking about me at all. I just don't think that they would feel lonesome without my presence. The other person, I know they may have a reason to be distressed. But again, she's at this crossroads saying, but then again, how do I know? Just because I think I could picture one person having like a nervousness or a stress in with their thoughts of me, but the other person, I just don't really think that they think of me at all. But that's the only two people I can come up with that I think could be sending me this vibe. And can I ask one more time, High Priestess? Mostly what we've seen is already like the vibe that she's picking up on, right? We're seeing her say, somebody feels like really unloved today. Somebody is feeling a loneliness. They're in a silent or solitary mode. They're wishing that they could apologize. There's even a loneliness, kind of being out in the cold emotion combined with like a strong desire to maybe heal things. So let me ask though, if she's saying, I don't know, it feels like it could come from one of two different soulmates. Let me just ask this, High Priestess, who would you want to hear from? Who would you want to hear from? Oh, Annie S., you love. Thank you so much for being here. Judgment card. There is one person that she would very much like to connect to if there were going to be a reconciliation. There is one person she would very much like to reconcile with. And just looking at the sternness of his face, I'm going to say it is whomever the soulmate is. Could be a Scorpio, by the way, but could be somebody that actually owes her an apology. And I would say that because the Judgment card is oftentimes about forgiveness. So that to me hints that there's somebody out there that she says, no, there is a person who they do owe me an apology. And that is a person I would most want it to be if I'm picking up on a message from anybody. But who am I to say that that's the person it would be? This is interesting because now we're looking at the dynamics of what she wants versus what she's picking up on, and she's still grappling in the dark. She doesn't have any facts. How about we do her a favor and we at least jump ahead and say, who are you? And let's also say, maybe she's even wrong. Maybe she's picking up on, keep in mind, a High Priestess can pick up on vibes, but not necessarily. I always say, you can tell when rain is going to come. She can tell, because of an aching shoulder that, oh, rain's going to come. There's a storm on the way, but she doesn't know how much rain's going to fall and where it's going to fall. And sometimes High Priestesses can pick up on signals that other people are crossing to each other that have nothing to do with her. So let me just ask, person who is thinking of the High Priestess, will you step forward? I'm giving you a space here. Okay. Okay, in this case, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because, oh, it's so hilarious, but I'm laughing because it's like, wow, wouldn't you know it? There are two people thinking of her. Poor thing, no wonder she can't figure this bit out. And they're both from the past. And they both still live like she's in their present. And they both held back from talking to her and saying things that they needed to say to her. So there are two, because we don't usually see two people on the Hanged Man. This is a unique card that they did that. I think it's the only card I have out of any deck, and I have a lot of decks, where we have two people on the Hanged Man. Interesting. Okay, so she is this High Priestess, man, she's good. She's really good. So person number one, please step forward and tell us about you. Person number one, Wheel of Fortune, King of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so person number one could be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but let's not forget we also bring in some Leo, possibly Scorpio, and Taurus here, and I already said Aquarius. But they're saying it is time. Like, I was abominable. I want to discuss that. I behaved in a way that was unfair, unjust. I maybe withheld. Oftentimes the King of Swords in the reverse goes into silent mode, silent treatment. Ghosts won't communicate at all. And if they are feeling like, oh my God, I wish I could heal this with her. I feel like this was terrible. I feel like my behavior was awful, and I'd like to change that. Okay, that's person number one. So it's because of, I think that this is the one who ghosted her. Okay. Let me ask this. Let's go to person number two first, and then we'll ask, what is it that is prompting both of them to think so much about her right now? Person number two, who are you? Do you want to step forward? Five of Swords, Eight of Wands sideways. How interesting. Boy, did she wind up catching two different people that were like so similar in their behavior, because this is somebody who had a fight with her and she walked away from them, and they either didn't go back and try to like explain things with her, or they didn't take action even though they thought a lot about it. This could have been a person at a distance, because we do see them like flying through the air, or would have needed to like drive over to her house or go visit her. They had some fight with her, and they, doing the face palm says they feel like it's their fault. She obviously chose not to fight with them. She chose to turn and bounce. So they feel like they should have, followed up and actually maybe set something right. And they thought so much about doing it, and have always thought of what they should have done, what they should have said, how they should have handled it differently, especially when she turned and walked. Okay, so now let's go ahead and just change decks and ask for each one of them. And they'll need their own deck each, I think. Why do they each want to connect to her? Whitman Clan, you are such a love. Nora A, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. You are so lovely. I am so appreciative. Okay. Person number 1, the King of Swords in the reverse. Why do you feel like now, of all times, are you so hyper-focused on her? 4 of Pentacles. They've held back for a really long time, and you notice, I can't. The words I was about to say, I cannot possibly use. It is a tremendous double entendre, so I'm trying to find a different word. Look, this squirrel has been holding on to things, and we see that it's like, let's say this is their mind, okay? And the more they have stored up their thoughts, and the more they have held on to, remember, they're the ones who ghosted. The more they have held back and held on, maybe out of surliness or an attitude issue or whatever it was that made them behave this way in the past, the heavier their mind has gotten. And so at this point, we can only carry so much, especially if we feel like we behaved in a certain way that maybe wasn't the best. It gets more troublesome over time, not less, when we are like either embarrassed of our behavior, or we feel a regret, or our conscience starts to kick in. Let me get one more for the King of Swords. I'm kind of bummed that it's 2 people that both want to talk to her, because they both feel like they did her dirty. It would have been nice if at least one person just wanted to talk to her, because they're like, oh, I so miss her, love her, and had a good rapport. But unfortunately, in this story, we have a High Priestess picking up on not 1, but 2 people, both of whom they have unfinished business, because they both handled things really wrong with her. What that King of Swords in the reverse has reached the point of is they can't bear this heaviness, this silence, these memories that have accumulated, and being here in this, this is the World card. It's like they would love to stop one cycle and maybe have a chance for a fresh beginning. And maybe this is just them saying, I'd like to clear my conscience. There were things that I should never have like ghosted. With that, Wheel of Fortune says it is the right time for them to finally like communicate to her. Maybe they've changed. Maybe, like I said, their conscience is heavy. Maybe they just want to put this to rest so they don't have to carry this anymore. What ultimately do you want from her? King of Swords. We have a 3 of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Cups. So they want her back, plain and simple. They want to collaborate with her. They want to be in that soulmate connection again. And can I just ask, what has changed in you from the way you did things before with her, which was to be silent and ghost, versus now? Six of Swords and the Justice card. Strong emphasis possibly on Libra for them. Remember, they came Swords in the reverse first. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, big emphasis now on Libra, but we did also have Capricorn for them with the World. And then we also did have Aquarius coming off of that Wheel of Fortune, if we're going to put more air energy into this. But so far, I would say Libra is probably the winning energy if we're going to go down the air sign route. They feel like it was like a huge injustice. If anything, they feel now like how would she have put up with me? was, I was behaving abominably. And maybe she had said something along the lines of like, look, if this is how you're going to act, like this is not conducive to something happy. I don't feel like I'm being treated fair. I don't want to be treated like this. And their response might have just been like, they might have had one of those arrogant chips on their shoulder. Like, you can't tell me nothing. You want to tell me you deserve better from me? Well, then F off. Don't care. I'm not saying they said that. I'm saying they went into silent mode and said nothing. And now they're like, oh my God, she had every right to say, I'm leaving if things don't change. So that's a pretty big, like, wow, I was in the wrong. Okay, so that's what's changed for them now, is that they actually see it as if that was my fault. I was the one that was in the wrong on that. Okay, now let's go to person number 2, the one who had a fight with her that she walked away from. The one who wished they had pursued to communicate and maybe sort things out, but apparently didn't. We need a fresh deck for them. Let's go. It doesn't feel right. Hang on. There we go. That feels good. Sorry, sometimes I get picky about what deck. Sometimes, let's be honest, all the time. Okay, let me see. What is the energy? First off, why do you want to connect to the High Priestess now? Queen of Cups. Because they feel her energy being withdrawn pretty dramatically. You notice how she's pouring her cup into her own little pond here. It feels like maybe this person was more recent that the High Priestess separated off from. 5 of Cups, 2 of Cups. Oh my God. Okay, so they're saying the reason her is because I am very much aware that she had to withdraw and take care of her own needs because she was devastated. And she was my 2 of Cups that I should have loved and protected, and I should have been a partner to her. But instead, I left her wounded. I left her crying. We had some fight, and I literally let her walk away. And when you have a fight with somebody and you let them walk away, instead of like saying, hey, wait, I'm sorry, or can we fix things, or can we talk about things? What happens is you basically, now your person, and listen, I'm speaking from their voice, right? They viewed her as their person, their 2 of Cups. It means you just left her out in the wild unprotected because you had a fight and you decided not to fix it. So you let her go to go face whatever the world throws at her, whatever ups and downs there are, without your protection, without your support, without your standing beside her or making sure she's doing okay. And it almost feels like, oh my God, what have I done? This was my person, and I just basically threw them to the wolves because we had a fight, and I just let them bounce instead of course correcting things. Let me ask this. What do you think the argument or the fight was? What was that? We have the Hermit. The argument or the fight here was about like them either not opening up or not really being present in the connection, or still being like withdrawn, or still operating like without concern for the other person. So it might have been like, wow, I feel lonely anyway because you're always gone. You take off, you do your thing. So it's really hard to be in a connection with somebody who's gone a lot. We have a 2 of Swords in the reverse. I don't think, even from their own perspective, they're like, she wasn't trying to block anything. She wasn't trying to tell me how I needed to be, but she did express, you're not really in a connection with me. You're off on your own journey, and I'm supposed to be here like waiting or something. I didn't block anything, and I'm not begging you for anything. I'm just not sure how come you're not really present if you want to be in a connection. This feels like somebody who, it's interesting to say, he says, she's my 2 of Cups. And it caused her a lot of grief because I was operating like the Hermit. Look, the Hermit goes off on their solo journey, right? So this is somebody who clearly wasn't really ready to be in a connection because they maybe still had stuff they had to do themselves. And on one hand, he's acknowledging, like, she wasn't telling me that you have to give me all your attention, but she was saying something that was obvious, like, you're not actually here at all. You're so removed from a connection that I feel like I'm in a relationship by myself. because you're completely detached and aren't opening up to me at all. I'm not asking you for the world. I'm just asking for you to like come on in from the dark. um, let me in. And if you don't want to do that, I guess I should go ahead and go. What was your response to her? Queen of Wands. You know, Queen of Wands is our most self-sufficient and most, you know, amazing and empowered queen. And maybe that was his, you know, response is like, ah, well, she's good, she'll be fine. And on one hand, this is him giving her like accolades, like he knows she stands on her own 2 feet really well. And a Queen of Wands is very, very good at walking her own path. She's very much an advocate for what she wants, how she wants to do things, all of that. That is, yes, that's correct. But if he just decided, like, okay, she wants more from me, you know what? She's good. She's got it. So I'm not going to bother to say anything or even explain anything. Were you not wanting to give to her, or were you aware that you were acting as a hermit? He was saying, yeah, I was still very heavily burdened with all kinds of my own thoughts. You notice how he has all of his thoughts tangled up in these antlers, and it's like I have this heavy mantle of stress, regret, shame, any responsibilities, all of these things that I was busy dealing with that I wasn't about to let her in on. And you know what? She's good anyway. She's whatever. She wants more from me. I'm not going to be giving more. I'm not going to be opening up more. I've got my own crap to deal with. Anyway, she'll land on her feet. She's a freaking Queen of Wands. She doesn't need me anyhow. So he let her go. But here's the thing. He let her go. Now he's thinking about it in a totally different way, which is, how would I have imagined that that didn't hurt her? And if she's the person that I most wanted, how did I not consider, while I was so busy dealing with my own stresses and stuff, that maybe she needed something from me? You know, if this is somebody, like, everybody has a right to deal with the things that they need to deal with, right? But he kind of like blew this off because he was like, whatever, I've got too much on my plate. She wants me to like open up. I'm not about to. And anyway, she's fine. Look, her life's great. That seems, on one hand, like the only person and whose problems mattered was your own. I can definitely see he was not in a place to be in a partnership, which that hermit isn't a place to be in a partnership. But it does feel like he's like, oh my God, what have I done? I decided she'd be fine. That's convenient when you can just shrug off anyone else's needs and say, oh, their life is easier than mine anyway. I have all these things that I need to deal with. So I'm just going to blow them off, let them go. They're the person that I love and want, but you know what? I only need to take care of my own needs right now. Look, here I'm so torn on this one because it's two things at the same time. Of course, there are times when people have to deal with what is on their plate. Absolutely. But on the other hand, this is his perspective, so please remember, I am not trying to like say, oh, he's a monster. He's the one saying, but wait a minute, I caused her grief because I wouldn't open up at all. She was very loving with me, but I decided she was fine. But I'm the one who left her out in the cold. And she was the one that I wanted to give to, but I wasn't going to because I had other stuff that I had to take care of. And she was going to be getting breadcrumbs. Or really, I just wasn't concerned at all with what her needs were. Okay, so that's the reason he now wants to connect to her. What do you want from her ultimately? King of Cups, Justice card again. I feel like I did her wrong. I feel like I wasn't there for her. So here I am wishing I could have given her the love that I should have. I should have turned her into the priority instead of said, no, I got nothing to give you anyway. Plus, you're fine. You don't need anything. That was not the way to look at somebody that you love. Okay, so you notice we have two people, both of whom believe that they've done her wrong. And this is their stories. And that is exactly what she was picking up on. And I was like, who is she thinking? And she's like, I don't know. Well, it's both of them. So we have two people who've been thinking this for quite a while. Let me ask the bigger question here. Why is it that they think about this, but they do jack all? Why is it that you sit and you think, but you don't take action? King of Swords, why have you been sitting and thinking about this, but not taking action? Knight of Swords, he's like, I'm about to just pop off and just rush in, and I'm going to be super embarrassed, and all of a sudden this is coming. Okay. What about, I don't know what to call the other person. I guess we'll call them the King of Cups. Nine of Wands. They've still been trying to heal and make sure that they were done with their, hermit's journey before saying something. Okay. It looks like the King of Swords is the one who's going to pop in first, but let me double check. Who comes in? Let's change next one last time. Universe, who comes in first? Seven of Wands. So crazy because this doesn't answer anything. It says both of them are approximately at the exact same point. They both have a struggle to still overcome. But their heart chakras are opening up. Maybe their crown chakra is opening up. Everything is changing for both of them right now. I'm just wondering, universe, do you have a message for her, for the High Priestess? Because High Priestess is getting the warnings that, psst, hey, somebody's coming in. And then it's like, psst, hey, actually, it's two different people. And here she is. I'm going to say, and I've never read this card this way. This is the Ace of Pentacles here. I'm going to say she's the yellow line in the middle. And here's, whatever. We'll say this is the King of Swords in the reverse, and we'll say this is the King of Cups. She's smack dab in the middle, and both of them are pulling at her energy, and both of them have always stayed parallel to her energy. But with this energy of there's a new beginning, does it mean that she is going to need to pick one or the other? Does it mean that she doesn't pick either? Or is it just the acknowledgement? Two people have never forgotten you. I don't know. I would say the encouragement for her in this is listen to her own inner North Star. She's possibly going to have to just, every character has to decide for themselves what they're going to do. And with that drum there, it makes me think of like heartbeat. It's her North Star, her heartbeat, Hierophant. She always knew this day would come. And I say that because although this is the Hierophant, which, is not the High Priestess, this is Taurus energy. We have the Oracle of Delphi sitting here, and we have the other priestesses holding this, thing of water to, scry into, but she doesn't even need to. She always knew this day was going to come. Her own crown chakra is open enough. Her own higher self has always known that one day she was going to have to probably face these two different people because both of them had unfinished business with her. And because for what it's worth, as badly as things were handled, as maybe brokenly or selfishly as things were handled, they did love her. And if it's always been like, someday I'm going to have to deal with all this again. However, let's not forget there's always a third option, which is I can choose to just not deal with it. I can choose to let both things go if I don't want to deal with any of it. No character has to let anybody who wants to knock on their door. No character has to let somebody march back into their world. The only thing is, I believe she was already aware that she was going to keep that channel open. 10 of Sacred Circles in the reverse. This says, I don't know if she has a habit. This is not to victim blame her, but if she has had a habit of attracting broken things into her world, and it is maybe because she's a pretty clear conduit, just like this, she's that bar of gold that runs smack down the middle. It could be that she is an attractor because of her own energy clarity that she possesses. And so perhaps people that are hungry and looking for something, even though they're not ready to give, have been drawn to her maybe her whole life. And there were at least two that were really, really hungry for her energy, wanting her to maybe soothe them or fix them. And this might just be her subconsciously knowing it, but maybe this is her becoming really aware of it. This could be her final step where she's like, oh, so this is my lesson too. Sometimes I do attract people that aren't ready to give, but maybe I helped them, or they want to say that they're sorry that they didn't give me more in return. And maybe it's my chance to say, you know what? It's okay. You were kind of broken at the time. I know you cared about me in whatever way you could. Maybe the quiet part that she doesn't say is like, you needed my energy. And so I already knew that's what you came into me for, is you needed my energy. That's all right. I had enough to share. But in the meantime, kind of done with that, and I'm going in a new direction. I could read it like she's not going to end up with either of them. Her future has changed now. Here she is again scrying. She's looking into something with a king. This could be a completely new person as she closes chapters with an X over here and an X over here and gives them like, hey, it's okay. You know what? We were soulmates, Two of Cups. We were individuals that shared energy in this lifetime. Maybe we close out karmic contracts and now everything's done and tidied up with a nice little bow, and now I can move on. And now I don't have to attract anybody else that is broken. Now I can choose a different Six of Cups. I honestly don't know. I do not know, because on one hand, she could end up with the King of Swords. The King of Swords, remember, was the one who was saw her as their Six of Cups, the one who wants her back in their life for that purpose. The one who saw her as their Two of Cups was the King of Cups, who was in the hermit mode. I honestly feel like, I don't know that we can get a direct answer here, because she's going to have to pick and choose if she wants either of them or if she wants to just move on completely. Let's change decks and go one last time and just say, is there anything else only for her to contemplate as she faces, choices? Knight of Swords. Remember, the Knight of Swords is associated with that King of Swords in the reverse. He said he's the one who's just about to pop off and just rush into her world and just try to talk to her and just try to get something back. By the way, guys, if you're here watching, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm. If you guys enjoy this free content that I produce, thank you so much. I noticed 6 to 8 of you did. I thank you so much. Out of the 220 watching, it means the world to me. But it really does help. It allows my channel to keep actually being seen, and then that allows me to keep doing this. So without that kind of free support, it's not really possible for any content creator that you watch. So thank you on behalf of everybody out there that is, doing free content as well. It means the world. And I know how hard it is to remember to hit the buttons. I'm the same exact way. Sorry, my doggy is like, she's got to make a swift decision. I don't know if this is going to feel like it's a sudden flurry of excitement and flurry of, energy coming in at her. But it does say she's probably first and foremost going to either feel rushed or feel like maybe that King of Swords is somebody to like really see with a hawk's eye. We have a Queen of Cups. The heads up here is simply she's going to be talking to that King of Swords in the reverse first. And there are phone calls. And I almost wonder if the urge here is do more listening than talking. They are in the sword energy, which is communication. This is somebody in the receptive energy. I think that the gentle encouragement here is, regardless of what she's going to say or do, listen to her own heart, but also if she has wanted to hear any kind of apology or let individuals like speak to her, maybe it's going to be good for her soul to hear what they have to say, as much as it's also going to be maybe something she's needed. to receive. And it also gives them a chance to try, at least, to set things straight. I'm going to say, in truth, if there is one or the other that she would prefer to hear from, it may be that King of Swords. So whatever her heart is, like really tells her that she really wants, it's always like, don't cheat your own self out of the thing you want. If you've always wished to hear from somebody and now they're trying to reach out, instead of saying, well, you know what, they're bad for me, too late, they should have done it different, I'm not going to deal with them. And that's not what your heart really wants. And you'd be doing your own self a huge injustice. So maybe the bottom line is, whatever she's guided to do, wherever her heart really is. But it does, I think the biggest message here is, stop being now the intuitive and let them speak. They need to say words. No more sensing like, oh, they're reaching out to me. And if they don't say everything, I can fill in the blanks because I know that they're reaching out because they have this desire. It's like, don't make it easy on somebody who has a lot of things that they need to verbalize, to set right. Don't do the talking for them, or don't intuit what they want to say. Stop being the high priestess for a minute and receive what their words actually are instead of intuiting what their words are going to be. And maybe that's just because they owe her. Both of them said that they owe her the explanation and they owe the chance to set things right. They both said that they did her wrong. And they both did something where they never spoke the words that should have been spoken. And I think that maybe this one message is a lesson for her in, she's an amazing, intuit. But this time, everything needs to be laid out in clear, plain, concise wording. This is where she gets to receive their words. So she gets to listen and let them actually tell her everything that they should. Don't fill in gaps for them. Don't give them all this leeway and say, don't worry, I know what you mean. Mm-mm. She may know what they mean, but they need to find the words. It's the only way they're going to set things right. And it's the only way maybe justice is going to be done. There's something here about, and she deserves to hear the actual words that were never spoken. I think that's the message, is listen and let them do the talking, if she wants to hear from them at all. And if not, by all means, be like, no thanks, moved on, done. She doesn't have to give them space, but if she would like to hear the words that they never said, then give space for them to say those words and don't fill in the blanks. Or kind of like, I know this sounds mean, but don't let somebody off the hook who needs to own the past in every detail and say what they need to say because it's actually them. This is how they're setting it right. All those words I didn't say, because both of them left a bunch unspoken. And I think that's the reason this is a gentle encouragement. If somebody is trying to set things right with the words they never said by saying those words now, then that's what needs to get out. Otherwise, there will never be things actually being set right. Anyway, again, it's only if she wants to. So that's the way I would describe that. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome, honey. Let me see. Is it Sajana? Hang on just a second. I'm trying to. Sajana, thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. I'm sorry that I botched your name there, but welcome, hun. You guys, thank you so much. We're going to leave this one here. I am going to go ahead and get a chance to do some of our zodiacs today because we still have zodiacs to get the frequency shift on. We'll do a bonus message probably for Virgo today as well. We'll get to our December 12th winners as well for today's topic. So anyway, we have lots in store today and tonight, you guys. Really good to see everybody. Yamila, hi, honey. Whitman Clan, thank you so, so much. You were so lovely. Summer Morgan, La Unique. Hi, honey. It's really good. It's really good. All is well over here. Empress, hi, honey. Crystal, thank you. Tasha, hi, honey. Thank you. Rebel Trontonic. So hang on. Rebel Trontonic. Trotnik. There we go. Sorry, it takes me a minute for my eyes to catch up and sound out words. Steve, thank you, hon. All right, you guys. Baby Yoda, hi. You guys are so lovely. Earth Magic 12, thank you. I'm backtracking here. Brandy, hi, sweetie. Helen York, how are you, Helen? Excuse me. Angel Leo girl, hi, honey. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce on out and I'll see you guys again soon. Perfectionist Virgo, Katie Burke, Parashade Humphrey, hi, sweetheart. Shout out to you in London, mate. Good to see you. Hi, Robin. Jessica. And Nor A and Whitman Clan, you guys were first in the house today. All right, everybody, I will see you again in our upcoming zodiacs. All right, take care. Bye for the moment.